So that's what we're going to do though. Let's take a preview of what we're going to create. There's our planet. Alright, that's what we're going to create, and if you noticed, if you look closely, the planet is actually, it's got some of that motion background on it so that you can actually see the planet changing as though it has clouds and whatever atmosphere around it. And that's what we want to have. We want to have as much realism as we can. So, to get started, we're going to take this electricity tan. This could be, you could use a lot of different backgrounds. For this, it's just going to be our start, and actually we like the color, so we're not going to change the color on this one. The first effect that we're going to apply is sphere. It's actually CC sphere. We need to make our planet. There we go. Pretty good job right away. I like to see a little bit more, so I'm going to increase the ambient light so that it's not completely shaded. If you want, you could add a little more highlight to the side there. I don't mind doing that. Alright, we don't need to change much more of that, except why not make it a little bigger? Alright, there we go. So that's our planet. Next thing we want to do is add a little bit more. Most spherical objects you'll see, and even if you look at some pictures of planets, you'll see it has kind of an inner glow. Not like that, but if we change the settings a little bit, size, something like that, with a lot less opacity. And there we go. Nice inner glow. Kind of reflective. I actually want to increase the size, maybe a little less. Alright, getting a little finicky. Alright. We've got our inner glow, and the other thing I want to do is the same type of thing. I want to have an outer glow. I want to give it a little bit of atmosphere. So let's see, increase the size. Oh, I'm changing the inner glow. Let's get on that outer glow, increase that size, and decrease that opacity. And I want to change that color to something like that. Maybe somewhere in the middle of the yellow and the red. There we go. How about that? Maybe even a little brighter. I think, did I mess up this? Yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, overall, you know, I want to increase the saturation a little bit of this. Give it a little more color. There we go. That's a little better. Alright, we've got our planet. Now, we're going to make our stars. So let's create a solid, and it'll be white, called stars. We'll place the stars behind the planet, and we're going to use what's called a starburst. There we go. Beautiful. We obviously need to make some tweaks to it though. Let's scatter a little more. Maybe like that. Speed we're not going to worry about. The size, let's see. I want to make it a little bit smaller. That's looking closer. Maybe something like that. There we go. So if you just run through the timeline, you'll see that the stars are going to be moving. Let's run it out just a little bit. In fact, let's resize this comp because it's defaulted way too big. So let's do a 10-second comp. There we go. And okay, we've got some stars. Now, those aren't bad, but we're going to add that warp effect to it. Like that. So to do that, we want to add an echo. to the stars. What that's going to do is it's going to mirror every single star. So we have to decide how many echoes. In this case, I'm going to do quite a few, 20. And the decay, if we don't decay it, it'll stay the same opacity all throughout. So we have to decay it some, 0.9. Actually, let's try 0.5. And we have to change the time that the echo appears. So I need to make these a lot closer. I'm going to make them happen a lot sooner. So I'm going to change that to 0.5. There we go. We've got our echo and our stars. So now if we preview it a little bit, looks like we're getting there. Okay. Let's see, anything else we could add to this? No, we still see that kind of patterning in there. So we're going to add a blur to this. Use a radial blur. Since everything is going from the middle and out, I'm going to use this radial blur. Let's see. Let's try this one. Missed. Got it on the planet. Okay, so the radial blur is in the middle. And I'm going to knock it down a little. 20. Okay, so we can see the difference there. A little nice. Kind of nice. Okay. One thing we will do, as almost always, is we'll add the motion blur. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that, get that ready. And now we've got to go back to the planet. We need to place it and have it shoot bias. So we can use, easiest way is to knock it to a 3D layer. And I'm going to move it over a little bit. And we're going to have its resting position. That's where it's going to go to. Set a keyframe. Go back to the start. And just push it back in 3D space. To do this faster, I can hold down Shift. And it'll really go quickly. Now, you'll get to a point where just scrubbing through is going to take forever. So, I'm going to change this to 100,000. And we can still see it. So, we're going to just cheat it a little bit and add a transparency keyframe or an opacity keyframe and 0. Okay, let's see how it looks. Not bad. Okay, definitely want this keyframe to be more like 4 seconds. So it's really shooting bias. There we go. That's a little better. Now, appears, and it shoots bias. That wasn't bad. It's pretty good. You could probably just leave it like that. But one more thing I want to do, just to give it a little more realism, is add the same blur, the CC radial blur. And if we look at it, we're going to see that as we add that blur, we got problems. So this is a common problem you'll have where it's only able to fit within the bounds that it currently has. So if you use a filter called Grow Bounds, make sure to place that in front of the radial blur, increase that to whatever you want, 1,000, and then we have no problem with that at all. Okay, now on this radial blur, the center point is defaulted there, so we want to move it to here. Okay, let's preview this, see how it looks. The nice thing about this is you can see that the atmosphere is moving within the planet. There we go.